guys, it's me, Big Dave. I did promise I'd be back when they dropped the news, and here I am. So they've dropped the news for the new champs. I'm going to go over the champs. I'll go over the ones within which I believe are in the fusion, and then I'll go over the new champs they've added. Some of them look insane. So yeah, we'll get started and let's enjoy. Okay, so straight off the bat, we've got Glissé Soul Guide. Glissé? Yeah, Glissé sounds good. Rarity, Legendary, Force Affinity, Defense, Sacred Order Champ. Right. Scover A1, Glittering Slash. Attacks one enemy. Has a 30% chance of placing a freeze debuff for one turn. Bookable up to 50. Pretty good. Also applies a debuff spread effect, taking one random debuff from the target and placing it on all enemies under freeze. Okay, that's different. Means, yeah, it'd be different. Partner her with a torment, maybe, unless she freezes herself. I think she does freeze herself, but we'll get into that now. So, breath of rhyme. Breath of rhyme? Yeah. Attacks all enemies, always good. Places a weaken, big version, two turns. Also steals a random buff from the enemy under a freeze debuff. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's 3 turns, so that's good. The freeze, I'm trying to think where that would work, but I could partner with a torment and place a freeze on top of them, or weaken on top of them. Okay, so the A3, Everwinter, I think this is where she freezes. Places a block debuff on all allies for 2 turns. Also has a 80% chance of placing a freeze debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Fills his champion's turn with 15% for each freeze debuff placed by this skill. So 15 by 5, 4. If you're using an arena, that's 60%. So pretty good. Basically freeze, then she gets another go and you place weaken. Yeah, pretty good. I kind of like that. That's pretty cool. You know, an AoE freeze, Force Affinity, you know, Bommel possibly. You know, freeze out those bombs. So yeah, definitely an option. Like definitely it looks like a Bommel champ, I would definitely say. Makes sort of you can then go a little bit squisher with your team by using this girl. You know, and she has block buffs, so that's also gonna help. She's gonna have to have high resist though. But yeah, not a bad idea. Could use her for freezing the bombs. Good in arena as a CC. Good in content for CC. Yeah, looks pretty good. Right, okay. Timeless. Okay. This champion skills cannot be put on cooldown. Okay. Whenever an enemy tries to put either this champion's skills or an ally skills on cooldown, places a freeze debuff on that enemy. Also has a 50% chance of denying the cooldown increase effect. Okay, so this champion can't, but she can stop anyone else's by 50%. But if they do it, you won't need accuracy for this, and it'll place them on freeze. Warlord, isn't it? It's Warlord. This will be an anti-Warlord. Yeah, looks like. If I'm reading this right. Obviously, 1 deny increases from bosses, that makes sense. And if I'm reading that right, yeah, put it in the comment section, guys. Am I reading this right? That if Warlord, for argument's sake, or Basher, Warlord tries to turn your cooldowns down, he'll be basically placed under freeze. And it cannot be resisted. Is that... The debuff cannot be blocked or resisted. Okay, cool. Pretty good. Looks like a pretty decent champ. So, keep an eye out for this girl. Yeah, definitely. Looks pretty good. Alright, we'll get the fusion dude. Right. Tatura rimehide. I'll go over his gear. Over his kit. So, legendary, spirit, affinity, defense, high elves. Attacks one enemy. 100% chance when both of placing decreased accuracy. That is good everywhere. Bosses, Hydra, everywhere. Decreased accuracy is huge. Bommel, another good champ for Bommel, I think. Seems to be putting all these bomber champs out now, which is good. So the decreased accuracy will help. Yeah, definitely. Good. 100% on 8-1. It's about time we get a full 100%. So that's pretty good. Right. Wings of Shelter. Places a block debuff and a 60% increased defense on all allies for 2 turns. Okay. That's pretty good. That's on himself as well. Yeah, that's on himself too. And that's on a 3 turn. Nice. 3 turn. Pretty good. Well, that will help. Nice 3 turner. Right. Otherworld Breach. Attacks all enemies. Places a perfect veil buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Also places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns, equal to 20% of the damage inflicted. So you could go damage on this guy. You know, maybe put crit rate gloves on him, get some crit on him, so that shield procs. Little bit like Brogni's, only it's veil on everybody else, which is kind of cool. Yeah, pretty sweet kit, I think. What's that, 4 turn? Yeah, kind of as we expected. So you could build him like a Brogni, get him sort of doing that shield is pretty big, so he keeps himself alive. And then what have we got here? His passive. When attacked, was a Glimmering Hide. When attacked, reflects 30% of the damage. Pretty good. Receives back to the attacker. Also has a 30% chance of placing a freeze debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. Good for CCing. Could he be using Arena? I would probably say maybe. You only CC in 1 person. So you could, like, for argument's sake, use him he'd have to go first, couldn't put him in a go second. Yeah, it could be using Arena. I don't think he is going to be using Arena. I think this guy is pretty much for, like, Bommel, and the Hydra, I think. But yeah, decent enough. And then we've got an all allies defense in Doom Tower by 35%. Yeah, clearly that's where they want you to use him. Yeah, he looks like he can be used there. I like that. Stack his defense high. Yeah, decent enough champ. What have we got here? Weird looking champ. Chaga. Chaga. Chaga? Chaga? Chaga. Chaga. Okay, Chaga. Okay. Probably going to be taken down to Chaga or Chaga, but Chaga. Okay. Legendary. Void. Well, this is going to be interesting. Attack champ for the Lizardmen faction. Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting being a Void. Attacks 1 enemy. Has a 50% chance of placing a sleep debuff for 1 turn. Yeah, that's okay. Bookable up to 75. That's pretty good. You know, sleep 1 person. Sci-fi-esque. Sci-fi-esque. Yeah. Definitely Sci-fi-esque on that A1. It's called Stupor. Okay. Venom Storm. Okay. Attacks all enemies 2 times. The first hit places 100% chance of placing the 5% poison debuff for 4 turns. Pretty good. So that's on everybody. Yeah, that's on everyone. Again, a sort of similar champ to Calvalax. Also quite similar to Tomb Lord in that respect. Yeah, pretty good. 100% went booked. And the second hit places decreased defense. Jeez. Man, this guy's going to be insane. That's an insane A2. Damn. That is insane. So he'll place poisons and decrease defense. Damn. That is a strong A2. Bookable down to a 3 turn. How many books does he need? 6, 5, 9, 11 books. Not bad, not bad. Damn, that A2 scares me. A2 scary. It's like Tomb Lord-esque. Better than Tomb Lord. But it's only the 1 poison though. So, yeah, only the 1 poison. Still a very sweet move, I think. Heartstopper. Attacks 1 enemy. Then targets 1 time at random. If the target is under a poison debuff, will ignore shields, block damage, and unkillable buffs. Pretty good. Grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. Also resets the cooldown of Venom Storm skill if this attack kills 2 enemies. Huh? Am I reading that wrong? Grants an extra turn. If this attack kills an enemy, also it says the cooldown of his A2 skill if this attack kills 2 enemies. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is passive is what does it. Instantly attacks enemies with the default skill. So whenever they receive damage from poisons. So when poisons go off, he'll attack with his A1. Debuffs placed by the champion. When hitting enemies under poison debuffs, heals his champion by 10% of the damage inflicted. Damn. This guy's pretty good. Like Clan Boss. Definitely good for Clan Boss. Could be good for Hydra. I'm thinking Clan Boss though. Depending on what his multiplies, this guy could be insane. Yeah, leave in the comment section, guys, if you think I'm reading this wrong. But yeah, it looks like Clan Boss. A decreased defense on an A2 on a free turn is pretty good. And it's for 3 turns, so yeah. Definitely Clan Boss. Kind of reminds me of Tomb Lord. But yeah, leave it in the comments, guys. And then an increased ally attack in the battle, in all battles by 33%. Pretty good. Right, so I believe this is one of the epics for the fusion. So we got Umatogi, yeah. Epic, Magic Affinity, Attack Champ, Shadowkin. Okay. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Heals an additional 20%, has an additional 20% chance of inflicting a critical hit if his champion is under a veil or perfect veil buff. Okay, cool. What was that? Sail Assassin. Silent Parting. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit will ignore 20% of the target's defense. Has an additional 20% chance of inflicting a critical hit if this champion is under a veil. So, I see. You could build this girl with 80 crit. Pretty good. So lower the crit, so she'll hit. So you can then stack more crit damage. Pretty good. Places a perfect veil buff and a 30% increased speed buff on this champion for 2 turns. Then fills his champion's turn meter by 40%. Ooh. Pretty good. Not good for Arena. Definitely good for Hydra, I would say. So she would place... She would build it with 80 crit, because she's going to be using this. 3 turn cooldown for 2 turns. Have to make it decently fast though, I would say. Yeah, okay, and then what's it called? Fade into nothing. Nice. Stand off the passive. Whenever this champion is attacked, completely blocks 1 hit, decreasing the income damage to 0. Then counter-attacking with a default skill, so the A1. When attacked by a boss, decreases the incoming damage by 50% instead of... decreases the incoming damage by 50%, so not to 0, instead before counter-attacking. Okay, so on bosses, she'll take half the damage. Pretty good. You know, nice enough champ. If you're not going for the fusion, she's worth going for, I think, for the veil. It was nice to see that we're getting a veil on somebody other than... there's only a handful of champs that do veil on full, so that's pretty good. Oh no, it's only on herself though. Okay. She could partner with a veil champ, then boost up her speed. Definitely looks good for Hydra. Right, okay. And then an ally crit rate by 15%. Masamoto. Another Highlander reference there. Okay. Epic, Spirit Affinity, Defense, Shadowkin. Nice. Right. Whoa. That's a lot of bucks. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 bucks. That is a lot. Okay. Dual Slice. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Has a 30% chance of stealing a buff. Random buff. Okay. Could be good in the keeps. Again, but we've got Razin for that kind of stuff. So, yeah, not a bad A1. Steel Typhoon. Attacks all enemies. Has a 50% chance. So bookable up to 75 of the big version of decrease attack for 2 turns. Nice. Nice bit of CC. You know, be good for definitely good for faction wars, especially with a decreased attack. So just in case you come up against any tough waves. Obviously, depending on the affinity of what you're facing, but decent enough. I can be booked down to a 3, and then up to 75% on a 3 turn, and it's on for 2, so not bad. Like Yojimbo, nah. Final Fantasy reference there, and very old Asian film from way in the day. But yeah, Yojimbo. So places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies. Nice for 2 turns. It also fills the turn meter of all allies. Ooh, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, on a 4 turn though. So I like that. A nice speed boost will be nice. So you could run this guy like second in your comp behind, say, Yoshi, and then put the increased defense on. Yeah, nice. I like that. Also making him stronger, so that's good. Obviously, he's part of the fusion. Again, if you're not going for Tatura, I would probably look at maybe going for this guy for the faction. Decent enough. Right. Visionary. Epic. Spirit Champ. Support. Dark Elves. When I saw her, I thought, could be Dark Elves, but yeah, it looks weird looking aesthetic with the sort of fly eyes. I don't know what that is, but hey, you know. Right. Ectoplasm. Oh, that sounds lovely. Attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 50%. That's quite nice. This chance increases to 100% of the target is under decrease crit rate debuff or decrease crit damage debuff. Okay, I'm guessing that's what our A2 does. It does. Haunt. Attacks all enemies, 100% chance when booked, of a 30% decreased crit rate debuff and a decreased crit damage debuff. I like this skill. I guess it's the first time both of them are together. Like, I know Whirlim does it. There's a couple of other champs that do it. It's a nice skill. You don't see much of it, but yeah, definitely a good skill. But obviously, arena, like, good for arena. Good for arena. Would you use this skill in arena? Probably not. So bookable down to a 3 turn. Yeah, I probably wouldn't use this skill in arena, but because obviously on content they only it pretty much stops any kind of crit hit on you. But obviously the affinity is not going to help. So yeah, pretty good. Nice skill. And obviously then we'll manipulate turn meter based off it. So that's pretty good. And then, okay, this is a nice skill. Dark Dealings. Places a 30% increased crit rate buff and a 30% increased damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. And then a nice turn meter boost on a 3 turn. Pretty good. And then, an increased ally speed in dungeons. I like that. Definitely usable. Definitely good for mid game and early game. Again, if you're not going for the fusion, I would definitely have a look into this girl. If you can't make it to the fusion, but definitely looks pretty good. Yeah, I like the look of her. Brood Lord. Okay. Epic, Force Affinity, Defense, Lizard Champ. Okay, I need lizards because I haven't finished Secret Rooms yet. So, right. Patient Tactician. Attacks one enemy 2 times. 50% chance when booked of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn if the target is under decreased speed. Okay. I don't think this guy does decrease speed himself. I'm not always a massive fan of that. Well, I was seen on his kit. Okay. Places an ally protect buff on all allies, so defend the nest. Nice. Then puts a block debuff on all allies for 1 turn. Nice. Bookable down to a 3. Also places a shield on this champion for 2 turns equal to 20% of this champion's max HP. So you build him out with HP and defense. So resilience will be a decent gear set to put on this guy. Then attacks all enemies. Has a 40% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. A stun debuff for 1 turn. The chance increases to 75% against enemies under decreased speed. So it's 50% or it's 85% on a 3 turn. Again, okay, let's look at his passive. Egg Watcher. When this champion is attacked, or whenever allies under ally protection buffs are attacked, has a 30% chance of placing... Oh, I see. Yeah, bit of a weird one. So you place ally attack and block buffs, wait for the hit to land, and then if it's an AoE, that person will get decreased speed. And then you can apply the stuns. Yeah, or you run in with a decreased speed champ. So like a big gun, Sylar, who else could you use? Big gun, Sylar, Krisk. Krisk is a decent show, but again, tough one to get. Yeah, I don't like these prerequisites. Again, if you've got a decreased speed champ, Lady Kimmy, I believe, does it too. So yeah, definitely an option. Okay, so we're into the rares now. Okay, so itinerant, rare, force, attack champ Shadowkin. Places, attacks one enemy, 30% chance of placing a leech. Yeah, we all know leech decent debuff, but only on one person. Chance increases. This chance increases if this attack is critical. So it'd be, okay, it should be 80% if he crits. Okay, cool. Attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing decreased speed debuff. And all for 2 turns, also places an increased speed debuff on this champion for 2 turns if the attack is critical. Again, building with crit. Attacks one enemy, decreases the enemy's max. Ooh. Oh, okay. Waste away. Attacks one enemy, decreases the enemy's max HP by 30% of the damage inflicted. So could be good for Scarab. He brings decreased speed, increased speed. So if you Doom Tower normal, I would say this guy could be useful. That's struck below to a 4. Yeah, looks... You know, the max 8, so you wouldn't have to run him in Destroy. You could just use his A3, possibly. Yeah, decent enough champ. Castigator. Rare, magic affinity, HP, Sacred Order. Attacks one enemy, places a 25% chance of placing a provoke debuff, bookable up to 40%. Yeah, okay, reasonable. Heals the ally with the lowest HP by 20% of this champion's max HP, then equalizes the HP level of all allies and grants the champion an extra turn. Good skill for early game, I would say. Bookable down to a 4 turn. Bumps that up to a 30%. Quite nice. And then his passive rebuff. Receives 15% less damage for enemies under provoke. Oh, pretty good. Decent enough champ. Okay. Misericord? Yeah, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Okay, rare, magic, attack champ, Bannerlords. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Also has this 15% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Bookable up to 25. So reasonable chance of making it land. Stay vigilant. Attacks all enemies. Fills his champion's turn meter by 5% for each living enemy. It's weirdly worded. Bookable down to a 3. Weirdly worded. So content. Early game spider, maybe? Attacks on enemies, put him in a stun set, maybe? Yeah, not a bad skill. Early game progression, decent enough. Put her in a stun set, attacks everyone, and then, especially on spider, she would probably get another turn. Yeah, pretty good move that is, I gotta be honest. And then Bitter Tears places a counter attack buff and a 25% increase attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. Yeah, reasonable. Bookable down to 4 turn. Okay. Ordinator. Rare, force affinity, attack champ for the Dark Elves. Attacks one enemy, has a 25% chance of placing a freeze for 1 turn. Yeah, okay. Attacks all enemy, has a chance of placing bomb debuffs that detonates after 2 turns. Buckable down to a 3. Again, bomb still not quite meta. Might start becoming meta with this new gear starts coming out more regularly from Hydra. Decent enough. I don't know, there's not... Could partner him with an Astrolith in Faction Wars. Blow up some bombs. Yeah, could do. Decent enough for early mid-game progression. Enforcer. When attacked, has a 30% chance... Oh, okay. So every time he gets hit, he'll decrease bomb. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like it. So yeah, gotta be honest, it's not bad. Not bad. Decent enough. I would probably say, looking at some of these guys, I do kind of like the look of Masamoto. He looks half decent. You know, half decent depending on his multipliers. I do like AoEs personally, especially when it comes to Faction Wars. Umatogi looks okay. The Veil could definitely be useful, but on herself. So yeah, I do like this guy Chaga. Looks pretty. Definitely would like to have a play around with this guy. Maybe I'm not seeing it, but I kind of think that skill might be broken. That poisons with decreased defense, especially mixing with the passive. So he'll attack when the poison debuff goes off. So that, you can imagine the numbers on that. That would be pretty sweet. This girl looks kind of crazy. Counter, definitely looks like a counter to Warlord. I could be wrong there, but that's how I'm reading it. You know, the cannot be put on cooldown, and if you do, you'll get frozen. So your Warlord will be frozen out no matter how much resistance he's got. So yeah, I kind of like that skill. Basically could be a direct counter. I think if I'm reading it right. If I'm not, guys, put it in the comment section for me. So yeah, I do like the look of the fusion. I will be going for it. I think it'll be really good for Hydra. That'll mean I'll have 3 Veil champs that I can then use. So I kind of like that idea. I like the idea of this guy. It looks pretty good. So yeah. Again, guys, like I said, if you're new here, pop that off. If you're new here, hit the sub. If you're new here, hit the subscribe. Hit the bell notification for when I go live. Yeah, let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. This is definitely something different. I like some of the champs. I do think going forward with the fusion, it looks like that it's going to be, from the looks of it, it's going to be for an old school fusion, so 4 rares into the epics. So there's going to be a decent chance, if you want copies of the epics, if you manage to pull any of these champs, keep them. I think there's probably, if I remember rightly when they did this last time, they threw out the epics as well. I think they threw them in the Summon Rush and the Champion Chase. Looking at it, I would probably say I do quite like the look of Broodmother, a Broodlord, I should say. But again, the decreased speed thing does kind of put me off. But I could do with a champ with a bit of CC with stuns if I can get decreased speed. I do need more lizards for the faction, so yeah. So yeah, guys. Thanks for staying on this long and listening to me ramble on. I'll see you guys in the next video. So enjoy the fusion, and Big Dave out.